Good morning, everyone. Oh, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this uh, snowy morning. We're happy that you're here. I did look out my window and am fearing digging out of all of that, but we'll get to that later. We're glad that we're here together. I want to welcome you all. Reverend Sasha is not here. She is in Minneapolis. She's been there offering public witness, standing with protesters since Wednesday. She has been very active, and in light of the um, murder that happened yesterday, some of the clergy who were there were asked to stay and help offer pastoral care and follow in some of those duties as well. So she is there uh, for as long as it takes. She did say that she will be back for the anniversary on Saturday, so do not worry, she will be there as well. But we are supporting her as she is out there on the front lines. I felt a little lost myself, but we are guilty that I wasn't there. But I was reminded from our book that we're doing for our common read this year, the social change map, that it takes many people to be part of a movement. Sasha is out there as a frontline responder and disruptor, and according to the framework, I'm here and we're here as builders and caregivers supporting her as she does that work. So if you guys are interested in that framework, there's also weavers, experimenters, visionaries, healers, storytellers, and guides. We will be doing our common read starting in March. So let me know if you're interested in that. That being said, as we settle in for this hour together, let us pause to center our minds and spirits around this month's theme of resistance. Let us begin with the words by Reverend Heidi Cottonham. Let us be faith. Let us be a faith that gathers, reaching for one another. Through the walls of hate others build, through the cages of ignorance and arrogance, and through the fear that burns city streets. Let us be a faith that sees a vision of a better world, more compassionate, more just, more holy, and with more love. There is a faith that binds us up, the broken, cauterizes battle wounds with the balm of peace, sings longer and louder than the trumpets of war. Let us be that faith too. Let us be the ones who do not tread lightly in the world, but to light it up with love, who hold up the mirror of worth and dignity, who are sanctuaries others seek. But first, let us be a faith that worships together here, this morning, in this space, at this moment. Let us be a faith. Come, my friends, let us worship together.
Good morning. I'm Barblan, one of our worship associates. And it's time now to kindle our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition. If you have a chalice or candle at home, I invite you to light it with me at this time. Our chalice lighting words today are by the Reverend Jamie Yandel. We light this flame to ignite the sacred power of justice. We light this flame so that it may be a beacon of hope. In moments of uncertainty, fear, anxiety, and the unknown, we light this flame and are emboldened by its blaze. Knowing our strength as a prophetic and powerful people is rooted in the diverse ways we answer the call to love. And now please join me for our affirmation by James Villa Blake. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. The song we'll hear now is There Is More Love Somewhere. In any of the songs, if you sing along, please mute yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Now in our service here, we come to our milestones and passages. Hopefully folks were able to share those online. If not, you can throw them in the chat as well. Would be a great idea. We did get a couple, so we'll go with those. Sometimes we come to this sacred place with much on our hearts. Perhaps you got married, lost a job, recovered from an illness, or are going through a divorce. And children who are watching have joys and sorrows too, things that make us happy and sad. Whatever your age, you can share your joys and sorrows in our service by filling out the form online, sharing in the chat today, or when we are in person, filling out the forms. This morning we have a few items that's been submitted. and some that we share. We will respond to all of them with "We hold you in our hearts." Up here. Nan Perigo shares that after visiting John Franklin at the care home, she wanted to let folks know that even though he is unable to respond directly, he does appreciate cards, letters, and emails. And so if you want to reach out to John, please send him a note. And if you need that information, contact one of the staff or Nan, and we'll get you his contact information. That's our submitted one. We also want to lift, we hold you in our hearts. I apologize. We also want to lift up Reverend Sasha as she is doing the work of living out our UU faith in Minneapolis today, representing us as a fellowship, representing the denomination, and representing those who stand with justice and peace today. We hold you in our hearts. We lift up all those who are on the ground across this country, standing up against violence, against fascism, against hate. We lift up those who are in Minneapolis, for those who marched in Morristown. We lift up all those marching, standing, resisting. We hold you in our hearts. We lift up Rachel Good and Alex Preddy, who were murdered standing up for their neighbors. We hold you in our hearts. Check our. Diana Hart lifts up that she is grateful for the Muff cooking team that prepared and packed 84 meals yesterday for unhoused neighbors in Morristown. We hold you in our hearts. Thank you all. Sheila lifts up that her husband starts a new job in February, and we all wish him the best. We hold you in our hearts. All right. Now, this snowy morning with a lot to process, a lot that just weighs heavy on us. Let's take a moment to sit in that. As you all are sitting in your couches or in your offices at home, warm and cozy, close your eyes or gently rest your gaze ahead of you. You don't feel comfortable closing your eyes. Just take in a breath, feeling that life-giving force coming in through your nostrils. Feel it leaving. Notice those breaths, breathing in the weight of the world. Breathing out the strength of community, resistance. Feel the spirit of life holding us in this still moment together. Amen and blessed be. Our next song is an African American spiritual, When Israel Lives in Egypt's Land.
Our reading this morning is by Reverend Martha Valentin. Please join me in the spirit of meditation or prayer. Spirit of truth and justice, hear us as we ask that you hold the collective anxiety that permeates this fear-filled situation. This is a call to arms. Arms that will hold broken hearts and elated hearts. Arms that wrap themselves around a body beaten and disfigured in truth and metaphorically. Arms that provide a strength neither giver nor receiver knew they possessed. Arms that hold up the sky of misplaced authority and righteousness from crashing down upon heads struggling to be held high. As each shred of dignity is yanked from their tired, overused, underappreciated bodies, this is a call for committed arms to continue leading heads and hearts, to know the facts but feel the truth, a call to remember that the freedom we've been given to swing our arms as wide and open to the sun as we like has come on the backs of humans others wish were invisible. This is a call to arm ourselves with the facts, but feel the truth, born out of the power of our Unitarian Universalist love and the balance of justice. We come now to a time in our service each Sunday when we pause to offer our gifts of financial support to this congregation. Your donations make all that we do here together possible and also help make our wider community a better place. That's because each Sunday we give at least half of the money we collect to an organization that is doing good work to advance our Unitarian Universalist values in a world that needs them now more than ever. Today's offering will be split 50-50 with UU Faith Action New Jersey, who is coordinating and connecting UU congregations' responses to the current political landscape. You may give by following the instruction shown on the screen. Thank you in advance for your generosity.
Thank you for that lovely recording, choir. I do want want to share. I missed a milestone or passage. To scroll back up in here, and because I didn't want to let it go. Um, Amy Bly shared that this year, this today marks the 1 year anniversary of her son's passing, who was only 35. So we hold you in our hearts, Amy, and your family. I'm sorry for missing that the first time through. Um, this Sunday, Reverend Sasha, even though she was off doing work and off in Minneapolis, she did write a sermon for us, and so she shared it with us. We thought it would be nice to ask the chair of our Justice Council, since the sermon is on justice, to read it for us. So, Franklin, give it to
Good
us.
morning. I'm pleased to be able to read the sermon from Reverend Sasha. It is a very good sermon. It's I don't know about you, but several times of late, I found myself looking around and wondering, where am I? Is this really the United States of America in 2026? Or are we in Nazi Germany or some other nightmarish period of history? So often these days, when I read the news and hear about the incredible violence being inflicted on communities of color in Minneapolis, I feel like I'm no longer here in the country of my birth. Like I've slipped into some alternative reality, or back in time, or maybe across the sea, over to some country in turmoil. I look at photos coming out of Minneapolis, and even here in Morristown, and it feels like reality has been rewritten around me. Like the rules of how government interacts with we, the people, have been replaced overnight. Do we live in a democratic society? Or do we live in an occupied conflict zone? Then I take a step back. I take a deep breath. And I remember, unfortunately, this isn't a foreign land. This is the United States of America. And the painful truth is, what feels so unfamiliar to me as someone with white skin and who was born here, what feels so unfamiliar to me has been heartbreakingly familiar to others in our country for generations, to people of color, to immigrants. The violence we're seeing now, it didn't come out of nowhere. It's part of a long, long pattern in our nation, a pattern of harm, especially to Black and brown people. We've seen it before. Slavery, Jim Crow, Indian schools, Japanese internment camps, the war on drugs, the Muslim registry, and in crackdown on immigration in communities today. We don't need to compare this moment to Nazi fascism. We need only to look at our history of made in America fascism. So while it's understandable that we might want to compare the injustices we see today with those of other nations, it's important to remember that we have our own painful legacy of violence and oppression. And fascism in our nation draws on that legacy for inspiration every time it rears its ugly head back up again. There's a reason the folks on the ground in Minneapolis are saying that it feels like Selma in 1965 all over again. We've been this way before, my friends, many times. I don't say that to depress or discourage us. though, because while the injustices we see today are reminiscent of the 1960s violent crackdown on Black communities, there's something else happening that resembles that now happening now that resembles that earlier time. And it is this: just like the people in Selma people are rising up and refusing to back down. They are fighting back. They are standing up for themselves, their friends, and their neighbors. They're refusing to let the state violence be the end of our story. Not in their city and not in our country. And they stand, and as they stand for themselves and one another, they're also standing up for all of us. Because what's happening in Minneapolis, our president would like to make that happen everywhere. He is seeking billions of dollars more to expand ICE, his private police force. He's trying to build a detention center right here in our own backyard in Morris County. So the resistance work in the Twin Cities isn't just an effort to protect the city and its vulnerable immigrant communities. It's also work to defend our entire democracy. That's why I went to Minneapolis last week. I was joined with clergy from many faith traditions: Unitarian Universalists, Presbyterians, UCC, United Methodist, Lutheran, Jewish, Muslim, and more. We were invited by our colleagues on the ground to come be with them as moral witnesses, to show up as a United Methodist colleague here locally likes to say, with our embodied prayers. We were there as faith leaders to witness. We witnessed for ourselves the intense repression happening in Minneapolis. We also witnessed democracy in action as people worked together to protect their city. And as organizers wrote, we were there to witness the fact that the struggle in Minneapolis is for a new America, a new beloved country, a new democracy everywhere in the world. Now, this is all easier said than done, and I'm not even talking about the challenges on the ground entering an occupied space. That's a whole other thing entirely. No, I mean, witnessing for justice can be challenging because of what we've got going on inside of our own hearts and minds. One of the trickiest things about working for justice, about being part of movements for real change, is that it asks us to let go of control, of sweet, sweet control. Because let's be honest, clergy, we like to control. Don't get me wrong, we care about shared ministry, we believe in empowering others, but we're also used to leading. And we're used to taking charge when things get thorny. Movement work, though, often doesn't let us do that. Movement work is messy. It's unpredictable. And even when we're not heading into a volatile place like Minneapolis right now, movement work still requires flexibility from us. It asks us to follow, not to lead, and to trust the wisdom of those on the ground, even when it differs from our own. There's another word for trust, and that's faith. Faith in organizers, faith in the people working right beside you for a better world. And that even if things don't go as planned, even if they don't succeed or terrifying or end in pain, even then, the simple act of showing up still matters. Resistance is still sacred. Our efforts are still worth it. It takes faith to believe that. We live in uncertain times, increasingly dangerous times. I said that at the protest last Saturday, that no one is safe right now, not while a masked private police force walks our streets behaving as though they're above the law. People are being arrested, hurt, and even killed. Not just Alex Pretty yesterday and Renee Good, but over 30 others whose names we may never hear because their brown and black bodies don't make headlines the same way a white person's death does. Because an immigrant's death doesn't capture America's attention the way a citizen's death does. So, yeah, if we want to help bend the arc of the universe toward justice, we've got to let go of control and certainty. We have to be willing to accept risk, and we have to hold on to faith. Faith in each other, faith in the movement, faith in forces not of our making that move within us and among us. That faith is what drew me to Minneapolis. You know, almost 20 years ago in 2009, years before I became a minister myself, my future Unitarian Universalist clergy colleagues came to my home state of Arizona. They came to stand with immigrant communities there, and with activists like me when our state passed the Show Me Your Papers law, as we called them then. My colleagues, and so many lay people too, they showed up. They had our backs. And now I want to have theirs. I trust them. I trust the organizers that they trust. And I knew they'd be there for me when I joined them out there, that they'd have my back just as I had theirs. And that's important. If we don't have each other's backs, we're not going to be able to get anywhere or accomplish anything. It's going to take more than an individual efforts to get us free of this mess that we're in as a nation. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't win civil rights for the African American people all by himself, and no one person today will fix our immigration system or restore our democracy alone. It is going to take all of us working together. And that means we need something even harder than letting go of control. We need solidarity. Solidarity means showing up for each other. It means standing firm together even when things get hard, especially when things get hard. Solidarity is one of those games we probably played as kids. Red Rover. You know, how everyone links their arms and stands strong, and when the other team comes running, that's solidarity. They're creating a strong, solid wall that can't be broken. But if someone lets go, if they decide at the last second, you know, I'd rather go play soccer today instead, and they leave, leaving their friends vulnerable, they're making it more likely that the other team will break through the line. In movement work, solidarity also means staying at the table even when you disagree about things. You know, sometimes we Unitarian Universalists struggle with that. We hold tight to our values, and that's a beautiful thing. But sometimes we only want to cooperate with people who think just like us, value the same things as us, and engage in the world of justice the exact same way as us. If they don't completely align with our values, we disengage. And when we do that, we often trade power, collective power, for purity. We may feel good about living our values without compromise, but we also weaken our ability to bring them to life in a world in a concrete way. And this moment in our history needs us to be strong. There are too many people counting on us, counting on all of us to stay in this fight together. A few years ago, a colleague told me about her work in the Interfaith Coalition to fight hunger, poverty, and homelessness. One of the churches got a new minister, someone more conservative than the previous one, and they pulled out of the coalition. They withdrew all their volunteer support and funding. And why? Because some of the other congregations supported reproductive rights. Because there was one cause they didn't see eye to eye on. They refused to stay at the table and to work together on the many causes they had in common. Without that large church's support, the whole coalition collapsed. Bye-bye anti-hunger initiatives, bye-bye work to alleviate poverty, bye-bye efforts to put roofs over people's heads. Now, before we go wagging our fingers through and feeling too high and mighty, I've also seen us do it too. Yep. One of the senior colleagues I served with back in Raleigh once pulled our congregation out of a statewide UU effort for racial justice because he disagreed with one tactic: tearing down Confederate statues. He believed it was violent. He wasn't open to other understandings of nonviolence, like those that say, if no one is harmed, it's not violence. So he decided that our congregation wouldn't work anymore with other UU congregations in the state for racial justice. Thankfully, the work continued without us, but not every effort survives that kind of solidarity. Sometimes really, really good work dies because good people can't find a way to stay in relationship across differences. But we have to be able to stay in solidarity now if we're going to get through this. We cannot afford those kind of fractures. After all, the president has a tool that we don't. Unlike us, he can command people to do what he wants. He has a private police force. They don't have to agree on anything. He can just command them to dismantle our democracy and terrorize our immigrant communities of color, and they'll obey. But that's not how we do things. Our faith is built on freedom, on choice, on covenant. We don't command anyone. We don't want to. It's not our way. So we have to find other ways to stick together. We have to choose solidarity. We have to stay at the table and keep showing up, even when it's hard, even when we don't all agree, because if we don't, we'll be scattered. And the forces that we're up against, they won't be. So we have to stick together. We have to stay in solidarity. Now, one more thing. As I prepared to go to Minneapolis, I admit I was a little nervous, and I would have been foolish not to be. We've all been following the news, I'm sure, and I've heard firsthand accounts of colleagues on the ground. It is a scary situation to voluntarily walk into, even if you look like me, even if your white skin gives you some protection. that people of color don't have. It's scary what's happening out there. But I wasn't nearly as scared as I could have been, and that's because I knew I wasn't going alone. I recently learned a song, more of a chant really, during a training for those of us who went to Minneapolis. It goes, "We are stronger than we think we are. We are not as strong as we want to be, but we are ready." Now, the most powerful word in there for me is the word we. There's so much strength in community, not just the community working in Minneapolis now, and not just the strength of communities across the country, including ours here in Morristown. We who are resisting injustice together everywhere it shows up. There's also strength that we can draw on from our history, from the long, long lineage of people who refused to let oppression be the whole story, who refused to let injustice have the last word. I recently met with our local interfaith clergy council here in Morris County. We were discerning together what we feel our role, our work in this moment of history is. You know, what role do we as faith leaders and as congregations, as a faith community, have to play at this time in our country? We all agreed, while faith communities do offer a moral voice in times like these, often people wielding the levers of power don't care about morals or ethics or doing the right thing. They care about power, gaining it and maintaining it. And they aren't generally swayed to stop abusing people just because people of faith tell them what they're doing is wrong. Sometimes when we speak to the power, the truth to power, power just laughs and keeps hurting people. But that doesn't mean that the moral voice isn't important. It is. It is so important because faith communities also play a critical role in times like these by knitting together stronger, more resilient communities. Something we do, by the way, by being a moral voice, by naming what is happening, why it is wrong, what alternatives exist, and what beautiful things become possible in our lives and the world if we pursue them. And offering this moral voice strengthens communities. It inspires us to come together and work for a common cause because it helps us to see the rich possibilities for a better world. Faith communities like ours often play critical roles of helping us all place moments like this in historical context. Maybe it's because faith communities are so often hearkening back to ancient wisdom stories that kind of give you a long view of history of time. We look at this moment in the context of human history, we're reminded that none of this is new, not entirely new. Communities have faced things like this before many times. And over, those things haven't had the last word. We have. Communities of resilience and resistance, communities working together for a better tomorrow, have the last word. It may feel right now like there's little hope, like the wheels of injustice keep rolling unstoppingly forward, like things will just keep getting worse and worse for our country and our community forever. But history shows us otherwise. When we step back and look at things from afar, we realize something important. Oppressive systems never last forever. They end. They may end later than we need them to, but they end. Unjust individuals eventually lose power. Unjust institutions get dismantled. Over and over, defeated. The Nazis didn't keep control of Germany and much of Europe forever. People resisted, people fought back and put an end to terror and violence. Here in the United States, slavery did not get the last word. The institution of slavery eventually ended. People fought to put an end to it, and eventually they succeeded. Jim Crow didn't last forever. McCarthyism didn't last forever. People resisted. And this moment in our country won't last forever because people are resisting. They're saying, no, we won't allow and shut it down. Faith communities like this can be a place where we find the strength together to resist, where we learn the skills to resist and find the resolve to resist, where we tell the stories and sing the songs that help us resist, where we join in common effort with each other and the wider community to resist. That is what I mean when I say that when I went to Minneapolis, I did not go alone. I went with my community, my clergy, my colleagues, both Unitarian Universalists and interfaith. I went with the values of our Unitarian Universalist movement and the conviction it inspires. I went with you here in the congregation, knowing that my own efforts are only a piece of the puzzle of the broader work for justice that we're doing together. I went with people of goodwill and conscience everywhere who are resisting oppression and creating goodness here in Minneapolis, across the country, around the world, in all kinds of ways. And I went with people, past and future, fought or ever will fight injustice. My friends, we live in a scary time. I know we have the strength to bring healing and justice to our nation together. May we remember that we are not the first to face down fascism, and we won't be the last. May we draw courage from the people who came before us and strength from the people besides us. And may we keep fighting injustice together, refusing to let it ever, ever have the last word. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so.
Wow, I needed to hear those words. Thank you, Franklin, and thank you, Sasha. Before we close, I'd like to draw your attention to our Minutes for Ministries. This is a time when we share brief updates about our congregation's activities to help us stay engaged with our community beyond our Sunday service. This morning, I'd like to draw your attention to the following announcements. Any newcomers with us today are invited to fill out a welcome card next time they are at the fellowship to help you get connected with us. When you join us in person, please talk to our welcome ambassador, who would love to meet you and answer any questions. Look for the sunny gold sash. For any questions about religious education, please talk to our religious education ambassador next time you're at the fellowship. They will be wearing a green sash. And anyone needing a caring presence on a morning when we are able to meet at the fellowship will find a compassionate listening ear with one of our lay pastoral care associates. You'll recognize them by their sky blue sashes. We have several great activities for you to join this week, but please check the calendar to confirm, especially if the weather is uncertain. So tomorrow, Days for Girls Kit Makers. Wednesday, Mindfulness Meditation. Thursday is the Adult Choir. Saturday is the Gathering of Men, and most importantly, our fellowship's 70th anniversary celebration. Sunday, Science and Spirituality Discussion Group and Newcomer Welcome Gathering. And today, please join us after our service for our Adult Soul Matters discussion group, and I understand a Zoom link has already been sent out for that. Full details about these and many other activities can be found in our weekly e-newsletter or on our website at muuf.org. And now we have a special announcement. Shari?
Okay, that number's wrong. It's 100, should be 190,000. And I am very happy to be doing a special announcement about our upcoming Glitter and Song celebration.
Together for First Take.
And greatest pleasure that we welcome you tonight. So sit back, relax, pull up a chair as First Take proudly presents your dinner. Be our guest, be our guest, put our service to the test. Tie your napkin round your neck, Cherie, and we provide the rest. Soup du jour, hot hors d'oeuvres, why we only live to serve. Try the great stuff, it's delicious, don't believe me, ask the dishes. They can sing, they can dance, after all, miss, this is France. The dinner here is never second best. Go on and fold your menu, take a glance, and then you'll be our guest. We are guests. Be our guest. Cheese soufflé, pie and pudding en flambé. We'll prepare and serve with flair, culinary cabaret. You're alone and you're scared, but the banquet's all prepared. No one's gloomy or complaining while the flatware's entertaining. We tell jokes, hide and tricks with my fellow candlesticks. It's all in perfect taste and you can bet. Go on and lift your glass. Yes, won your own free pass to be our guest.
If you're stressed, it's fine dining we suggest.
Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest. Be our guest, be our guest. Our command is your request. It's been years since we've had anybody here. We're obsessed with your meal, with your views. Yes, indeed, we interfere. While the candlelight's still glowing, let us help you. We'll keep going. Course by course, one by one, till we shout, enough, I'm done, and we'll sing you off to sleep as you digest. Tonight you'll prop your feet up, but for now let's eat up. Be our guest, be our guest, be our guest, guest, our guest, special guest.
Hello. Hopefully you can all hear me. Hopefully by now you've gotten your tickets to our 70th anniversary celebration. That link's on the website. Please buy them now so people know how much food to bring. But we've got even more to celebrate, and God knows we need something to remind us that joy is possible in these times. Our nearly 12-year capital campaign is coming to an end, and come heck or high water, at the end of March. So we're having a party. It will feature First Take, who just issued that musical invitation. They'll serenade us as the entertainment for Gateways, Glitter and Song, a fabulous celebration on February 28th in our beautiful new Gateway Center. Tickets are on sale now on the website and at the link in the Gateways, Glitter and Song article in the newsletter from 2 weeks ago. We've structured this to try to finish out the campaign strong, because we still have 190,000 to raise, but we also want to include everyone. So we start with a relatively high suggested donation because we do have that amount to raise. But as a member, you can pay any amount that makes sense for you. You can contribute volunteer hours instead or in addition. You can even go wild and pay a premium for a VIP ticket that includes a 15-minute preview with our musical entertainment. You can come as you are, but can we talk glitter for a moment? This is my mom of the groom dress. And there's my mom of the bride dress. And here's Franklin all glittered up. Let's be festive and celebrate. So please sign up now so we know how much food to make. And there is going to be food. These are Mauritanian samosas. These are artisanal chocolates. There's going to be Asian delights from Chef Diana. There's going to be a charcuterie cart. And wait, there's more. There will also be fine art donated by talented fellowship artists, such as this piece by Noel Jensen. They will be auctioned off. And we will conclude with the pièce de résistance, a gorgeous piece by our own Nina Nemeth, who is right now having a wonderful show at the Monmouth Museum. So thank you. Please get your tickets now, and let's find some joy.
Thank you, Sherry. So we're running a little late today, so we won't have time to open the mic for announcements. But again, please be sure to read our newsletter to learn about the many wonderful things going on in our community.
It is now time for us to bring our worship to a close. As we return to our daily lives, I leave you with the words of the Reverend Helena Westbrook. Go in hope, for the arc of the universe is long, and we can bend it towards justice. Go in courage, for together we have the strength to confront injustice in our daily lives and the larger world. Go in love, because a holy and generous love is both the reason and the means by which we transform our lives. Amen. Blessed be, and go in peace.
not stop singing. We will not stop singing till the world can hear the song, till the world can sing along. We will not stop marching. We will not stop marching. We will not stop marching till the world can hear the song, till the world can sing along. Till the world can sing, till the world can sing, till the world